Hello again, everybody. Welcome, Runt's Barbecue, Tuesday night edition of the Muskogee River Football Coaches Show. Bill Huddleston now back in the saddle after a couple of weeks' absence. And Race, they say in Kansas there's no place like home. At least that's what the Red Rocket told me, that there's no place like home. But there truly is a nice feeling for me to be back here. Great food, great friendship, and a chance to talk about rougher football, although the outcome of last Friday night's game wasn't what we desired.
Yeah. Well, we're glad to have you back, too. And, again, sorry for your loss. And
Thank you.
We missed you. And sad part of life, but, it is a part of life. And
it
so
is.
Our prayers was with you. And sorry that you had to go through it, but we all do. So
Right.
glad to have you back.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Last week, tough one again. Had lots more kids have a concussion that we got a corner out this week, and it was really coming along. Keandre Johns had a really good game going up to that point. Had a great game the week before against Sand Springs. But, we just still having tackling lows. Coach has done every drill he knows. There's a point that you can get people in position, but at some point they got to make the tackle too. And right now we're just not a very good tackling team. I thought that offensively moved the ball pretty well. Didn't run the ball like we normally like to do, but by far, we had our best passing out on the night. We thought that Walker Newton had a great game, threw for 241 yards.
Right.
Had another couple of balls dropped that would have added him.
That would have been 6 points?
That would have been over 300 yards for him. So, for a kid that's just now getting in here and is not very big and don't know a whole lot about the quarterback position, he's doing a good job for us, and he's certainly solidified himself as our starter. And, that's what we're going with the rest of the year, and just done a great job.
I think in the game, too, you saw some nice performances. One of those will be our guest hopefully a little bit later on in our show. Another young man that has been kind of that just come to work every day, Antonio Zapata. And then last week, a young man that has continued to prove, who will be our guest, TK Thompson. He made some plays last Friday night. I have not seen him make this year.
And had one big one called back because of a holding call, about a 35, 40-yarder early in the game. So TK, I tell you, TK this summer was probably the best senior leader we had. He was there. He never missed a summer pride for us. He was at every passing league. He was the best leader we had this summer out of the senior class, and he's continued to pull it over in there. He's there every day for you. Smart kid, gives you everything he's got. He had to fill in there for Ty. We started him off at the safety position. We've moved him more to offense now. We've got some younger guys in there playing safety right now, but that we just feel like gave us a better chance back there. But TK, again, he's a great student. He's a great young man, and you wished you had a bunch more like him on your team. But, yeah, he had by far his best game. Had 3 catches, right around 60-some yards, but would have had close to 100 yards had that one not been called back. But as you mentioned, Antonio Zapata again. Antonio just continues to improve. I was glad we had a great article. I thought Mike did a great job on it.
I think it's one of his best articles he's written.
I've had several people
in years
call and tell me that.
Mike, you can give me my 25 cents tomorrow for that plug. But no, it truly is a great article on an outstanding young man.
Very good young man, and some people would, I haven't read the complete article yet. I've just been having people call me today. I'll read it when I get home, but they said, boy, it couldn't be more true. People don't know really what goes on behind the scene. A lot of people think they do,
right?
But on that trip coming back from Arkansas, him and Coach Graham sat together up there and visited, and it was, things happened in the heat of the moment, and he's fiery, and so is Coach Graham, but everything got straightened out, and I was really proud of him. And then it showed that, you give these people some chances and what it comes for you. Because, again, he did all of his punishment he was supposed to do on Monday. Nobody knows any about that, and they don't have to know because it's the things that we take care of inside our program. But he did a great job, and he continues to play hard. And, again, the other night, he just willed our way there on that second drive to where we make it at 14 right before halftime and give us an opportunity. He just kept fighting, and that's the thing you love about Antonio is he's never going to quit. And not to be negative or anything, but I wish that more of our seniors was that way because we've had some quit last week. I got senior night over with, and now they're done. And we've had some quit throughout the year, and, of course, we've had a lot of the injuries with the seniors, and it's not the season you want to have going out as a senior year, but you want to finish. You don't want to be known as a quitter because it's easier to quit in life than later on as well. And so that's the way I always look at it. I hate that these kids are deciding to quit right now when things are tough. It's not fun for anybody, but I tell you, these young ones and these few seniors we have left are going to fight their way all the way to the end.
30 years from now, they'll be looking back and say, man, I wish that have just stayed for the whole party.
And especially after they've quit 3 or 4 more times on other things in their life.
Well, here's the thing I want to say about Antonio Zapata, and I'm going to take the quote that he used in the paper. God gives you 10 arrows. You don't just use 2. And you've had to do that all season long because God gave you 45, 50 kids at the start of the season, and every time the sirens go off around town, you got to be thinking, who got hurt now?
Our quiver's getting pretty small in arrows right now. We're fixing to have to start throwing some darts because we are dipping into our freshman team a great deal. We will be traveling with 8 freshmen this week, 4 which will be starting this week. It's just what I was telling you before here, we're going to have 8 sophomores and 4 freshmen starting. They always say, the old saying is how many starters our freshmen or sophomores are your starters, that's how many losses you'll have. And I think that's because I've had some that we didn't lose a game with a bunch of sophomores starting. But if that's the case, golly, I don't know what they're going to say about the 4 freshmen also starting. I don't know if that doubles up or what. I don't think we have enough games then. But
I'm going to spin this to a positive situation, Rafe. The rest of the year's still to be played out, but look what we got coming back.
Well, you're going to have a lot of, we knew that next year was going to be, we thought, the tougher part, but we didn't foresee all these injuries, and we're not making no excuses. Right now, I think that we should be having wins. There's no doubt about it. The kids believe in wins.
Right.
We haven't got it done, and we're going to continue to work hard. I love my coaching staff. I love the kids. We're working our tails off, but, if you were behind the scenes and saw it, if you knew what it was you was looking for on film, we see improvement each week, just like us talking with our quarterback situation. He's grown in leaps and bounds since getting thrown in there at Arkansas, and he's going to continue to get better. And so we're really proud of him. There's some other positions that was coming through there. We got some young Aiden Kemp, a sophomore that's got thrown in there in the secondary over at Sand Springs, continues. He's going to improve each and every week. So these young guys, I was really proud of a freshman to talk about. Of course, we've had Vernon all year long that's done well and continues to grow. But
Pepe Yakata.
Yeah, I don't even. Everybody knows who Vernon is.
Coach calls him Vernon. I practiced this by Hispanics.
Well, he's done a great job, but finally Tion Brewer last week, I think, solidified being the starter at that defensive end spot. He just come in and finally said, I do this all the time in the freshman game. I'm huge. I can do it. And I thought he played really well. By far his best game this year in the varsity club.
Certainly. The light went on for TB last Friday night, and the Ruffers will want that light to come on along with the rest of the guys wearing green and white when we make the trip over to Choctaw. It'll be a Thursday night game because of fall break, and we'll talk more about that game a little bit later on in our half-hour show here from Runt's Barbecue. We're going to take our first time out. Coach and I are going to dive into our Tuesday night grub, and then we'll get a chance for you to meet one of the members of the coaching staff of the Muskogee Ruffers. That after this timeout, live from Runt's Barbecue, the Muskogee Ruffer Coaches Show on Ruffer TV and on 101.7 Okie Country KTFX.
In times of need, it's comforting to see faces of people you know and trust. Cornerstone Funeral Home in Muskogee cherishes the opportunity to be there for you and your family in life's most challenging times when friends are most important. Cornerstone Funeral Home and Crematory welcomes the opportunity to answer any questions regarding planning and pre-arrangements for you and your loved ones. Experience the difference. Cornerstone Funeral Home, 1830 North York in Muskogee, where you'll find faces you know and reputations you trust.
New Silverados up to $15,000 in total savings. Hi, Jay Hodge, and it really is the best time to buy at the all-new Jay Hodge Chevrolet Muskogee. Tell them, Rick.
Summer sale down of all new 2020s.
New Silverados up to $15,000 total savings.
Don't overpay, come see 15KJ.
New Silverados up to $15,000 total savings at the all-new Jay Hodge Chevrolet of Muskogee.
144 West Shawnee.
When you come home after a long day, Bravado Wireless Home Internet has you covered in your neighborhood or on your farm. For a limited time, our unlimited home internet has been discounted to only $49 per month with the purchase of a $99 router. And get this, the first 3 months of service is on us. So what are you waiting for? Make the switch today and visit us at bravadowireless.com for more info and to find a store near you. We are Bravado Wireless, and we believe in the power of connection.
Pioneer Abstract, proudly serving residential and commercial customers throughout Muskogee County since 1905, serving banks, mortgage companies, and mortgage brokers with refinancing, purchase, 1031 tax-deferred exchanges, along with full escrow services and more. Pioneer Abstract offers the convenience of centralized services for escrow accounts, title insurance, and title searches. Pioneer Abstract, here yesterday, here today, and here tomorrow at 412 West Broadway in downtown Muskogee, or call Pioneer Abstract at 683-2904.
Welcome back, everybody. We're at Runt's Barbecue, where it is the best barbecue in town, whether you're doing like I am, putting together the two-meat combo of catfish, which is crispy fried just the way I like it, and the sliced barbecue brisket, or if you decide to go double up with Coach Watkins, and he doesn't go two different selections. He just goes two for the price of one, right?
I'd go double meat, and you get the two burn-ins. You can't hardly go wrong with that.
Along with a little fries to go along with that, and your own personalized bowl of ketchup.
Yeah, right now with all the COVID stuff, I open enough ketchup. I eat ketchup on about everything, and to have to sit there and open 37 ketchup little packets is about old. So they know to see Coach Watkins comes, they just give me a bowl of ketchup.
I loved it when the young lady came out here with 2 hands full of ketchup packets, and Rafe says, "Hey, can I just have my own bowl?" Sure enough,
they take care of you.
Sure enough,
here.
they got him taken care of, ready for tonight. Coach, each week we give our listeners and viewers a chance to get inside the program and get to know a little bit more about the guys that are on the staff, the family of coaches on your team, and it truly is that. I mean, I get the opportunity of hanging around the field house and get to hear the woes, get to hear the pros, and all those kind of good things, and it's really nice to be able to develop a relationship with not just you, but all members of your staff. And our guest tonight is one of those guys that has just come in and made himself at home.
Right. Well, he fits in perfect with us because around our place we're going to have fun, and you better not have soft feelings because it doesn't matter who you are. If it's my turn, it's my turn to get ribbed in there. So this guy fits in well with us. He takes it as well as he gives it, and he's a great artist, and that's really he causes for a lot of comedy for us.
You're going to have to set him up so our listeners know who this guy is.
Okay, I'm sorry. This is John Williams, and a lot of you may know him from. He's an old Redmond. When it was
emphasis on old, right?
He's my age, so I can say that.
Okay.
But he played over there with Coach Hill. He's also, I think, over there during the same time as Dr. Mendenhall, and and I'll let him talk about his family and the rest of it, all the connections to around here. But he's spent most of his time in Texas and retired from down there and came back up. He's been over at Tahlequah the last couple of years, and we're fortunate enough to get him over here. But Coach's Safeties Force has done a great job this year, being his first year, and again, I'm getting back to his artistic abilities. From a guy that can't draw a straight line, it amazes me how he'll take a dry erase board and be sitting there looking at somebody. He has perfected Coach Gardner. Coach Gardner with the beard and everything. It is an absolute. It's kind of like that one commercial where he's got the sandwich with the bite out of it, the big brim. And I don't see it,
Right.
That's how he has perfected Coach Gardner, because it is exact to him. He gives Coach Gardner some pretty good looks sometimes. So I'll let him explain the rest.
Yeah.
But
John Williams, our guest here, and we're really glad to have you, Coach. And you've already discovered that if you're going to wear the green and white and come inside the coach's room, you do have to have. You can't be a touchy person. You got to have a little give and take.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I've enjoyed every minute of it. It's been a lot of fun.
Now, your trail of success started where on the high school level as a player, and then you went to NSU to become a Redmond?
I played at Tahlequah in high school for Charlie Cooper, and then for Tom Eckert.
Speaking of guys that just do it one way.
Oh, yeah. And
2 guys right there.
But George Elliott was the head coach at NSU when I got there, and Travis Hill was a starting strong safety when I was a freshman in 1984. So I knew him, Mike Adams, all these guys that have played there that have gone to be coaches, Tuffy Thornton. Of course, Al Trimble was senior that my freshman year getting there. So a lot of great guys that I knew back in the day. And then from there I went off to Las Vegas, Nevada, where I coached my first 4 years out of NSU. So that was 1990. And then I made my way back. 1 year I thought I was going to get a job at Muskogee, and then next thing I know I'm going off to Texas, and I'd been down to Texas for 24 years before coming back up this past year to Tahlequah.
And then made the drive from the Quah back over to the Gee.
Yeah, back over to the Gee.
And Coach didn't tell you when you came what you were going to have to go through this year in building and rebuilding a secondary.
Well, and I think, when we first got here and we were talking about Ty and Isaiah, and we had all these ideas, and, everything looked great, but, without having spring football and then 7-on-7, goes, but we don't get to play everybody we thought we were going to play. And then by the time football gets pushed back and starts, we missed a whole spring and a lot of a summer about playing against other people, even though we got to lift weights and do some running. But you always felt like you were behind a little bit, and you were just hoping, hey, I just hope we play, I just hope we play. So that part was good, but then a lot of different things happened that, we're playing guys that are probably maybe the 6th or 7th safeties that have been put out there from what we thought we were going to have at the beginning. So we've had to shuffle, moving Isaiah down to a Sam linebacker type deal. This guy come over, this guy try to help, this guy, this guy. And we're trying to find that right combination, but the young guys we have are super intelligent. They have a lot of upside, and I'm looking forward to continue to work with those guys. So.
Have you sit down and showed them your artistic talents?
I think most of I put some drawings up in the locker rooms every once in a while. Keeps the mood light.
Right.
So,
where do these artistic skills come from?
Well, my dad was David Williams. He had been a well-known Indian artist in the 70s and 80s.
Okay.
He'd gone to Bacone. That's where my mom was from, Muskogee.
Okay.
And her and my dad met at Bacone, and then they ran off and had my brother back in California, and I was born a few years later, so I was born initially in California in 66, but we moved to Muskogee in 68, and then we finally made our way to Tahlequah in 1970. So I'm kind of have roots all around the area.
Now, was Rafe, was he telling the truth on the artistic skills? I mean, tell me, because I've seen a few of those drawings, and I think he's right on Coach Gerger.
I think between him and some of the other coaches, they could tell you that if I can capture somebody's essence, Keith Wilson at Tahlequah, I've just brutalized him. There's people at schools.
Coach Willie.
Oh yeah, there's people at different schools that I've taught at. It's more like a cartoon, but it's a humorous side of it. It's a lot of fun.
I'm just shudder to think what some of those other drawings might look like, Ray.
Well, we had one that the best one. I laughed because he'd only been there about 2 or 3 weeks with us because we'd just started meeting as coaches. We hadn't even got the kids yet, to be quite honest, and so we met on every Thursday. The defensive staff did. Offense, we met because of doing. When we very first started with the COVID, we could only have about 6 of us in the locker room. So I'd meet with the offense on a Tuesday and a defense on a Thursday. Well, we did that the first week, and then Gardner didn't realize we was going to do that every Tuesday and every Thursday. So he didn't show up the one Thursday. And we called, and he said, I didn't know it was every Thursday. So he draws a great picture of him still sitting in bed and with the phone up there saying, every Thursday? And it was just, I don't know, it was just so perfect. We all started laughing and hung up there for quite a while.
There's one thing about it with these guys. If you don't want the truth to be told, don't come around because they're going to tell it just the way it is.
Exactly.
Obviously, Coach Williams didn't realize. I don't think you anticipated anything like what you've had to go through. And the restructuring process he's had to do almost on a week-by-week basis shows this man knows his game, and he's got some kids that are willing to listen.
Well, he does, and it's been difficult, because it started off, like he said, he had 2 of the top safeties in the state, and the one top safety in the state that hasn't played any. Then we had to move, when Darian hurts his shoulder in the Jeek scrimmage, we had to move Isaiah down, and that's out of position, but we had to just have another one in there, because then you lose Caleb, and so we had to have somebody at the linebacker spot that could make plays, and so it made it tough on him, so we bring in the guys that we had. Right now, he's got a sophomore, and this week, we're not going to tell anything new tonight. If Choctaw hears that, fine, but we're going to actually have a freshman as our other safety with Israel Martin back there this week, so we're going to have a freshman and a sophomore starting. Both are great athletes, though, and they're going to be here for a long time for us, but that's the 2 that we're starting this week, and that allows Zapata to come up because he beat the crap right now. He hurts his shoulder the other night and gets it back kind of put, and everybody's saying stinger, but they said it slipped out a little bit, come back in, and he's ready to go again, but we're going to rest that some. It takes so much on the defense, and we got to have him on offense. So we're going to use him on offense, rest him a little bit on defense, and let the freshman get some looks.
Coach, I know you know this saying because it goes back to your days playing for Coach Cooper, playing for Coach Elliott, and being around Eck over Tahlequah. Next man up. And that's what it's had to be. Next kid up. Whoever's standing in line next to run their reps as a safety or a member of that defensive back, they're one eyelash away from being in the starting lineup like we are this week.
Yeah, they have to know it's kind of like, nobody ever likes to think about vice president, but they got their heartbeat away. So that's kind of how these guys have had to be. And I think I've appreciated it there's a mental toughness that goes with having to get in there, and they got to listen to practice. They've got to get involved. They've got to get in those 2 reps, and sometimes that other guy's got to stand in the back, pay attention. You got to be able to do this and this. We watch film, at practice, and we try to send out huddle film to them and with some notes in it and stuff, on the weekend and then during the week, and just make sure their alignments are good. But the young guys that we have, and even TK and Antonio being more offensive minded right now, we know that something goes wrong, boom, boom. They can both be in, one of them can be in, and they both can be able to play either safety spot. To me, they're like Legos. They're very, interchangeable. Right. So I think they can do each other's stuff. And really, all 4 of the guys that we have there right now, they're like that. And I'm excited about the 2 young guys. I think they're going to be fine.
We're going to take a quick break and come back and talk more Rougher football tonight from Runt's Barbecue, and give myself a chance to get back into my catfish before it gets too cold. But we'll do that after this timeout. You're watching and listening to Muskogee Rougher Football live from Runt's Barbecue on Rougher TV and on 101.7 Okie Country KTFX.
We are what makes Oklahoma proud. We are mothers. We are coaches, counselors, and teachers. We are community. We are innovators in medical technologies. We are researchers developing breakthroughs to diagnose, treat, and cure diseases. We are everyday people. We are Northeastern Health Systems.
There's an old school way of doing business here at James Hodge Ford. Exceptional service, a firm handshake, and the best price around on a new Ford vehicle. Of course, don't forget our Hodge promise to you, our customer, that's stronger than oak. That's just a great way of doing business.
The James Hodge Ford promise. The best selection, the absolute best price, and service guaranteed. James Hodge Ford, 1200 North Main, Muskogee. Online at hodgeford.com.
In sports, having the right winning strategy is often the difference between winning and losing. The same is true when you need legal representation. For more than 15 years, the law offices of Michael E. Finnerty have successfully provided the winning strategy with excellence and integrity for the people of the Muskogee area in matters of personal injury, social security disability, and workers' compensation issues. The law office, Muskogee trusts Michael A. Finnerty, ready to develop a winning strategy. Michael A. Finnerty, 436 Court Street in Muskogee. Call 687-1155. Online at finnertylaw.com.
What makes Nissan of Muskogee different? It's our people and a driving desire to surpass the expectations of our customers. Well, that and an amazing lineup of trucks, sedans, and crossovers, like the advanced technology and serious muscle of the V8 400 horsepower Titan, or the sleek, smart SUV Rogue. Drive a little and save a lot at Nissan of Muskogee. Call 918-683-6605 or go to nissanofmuskogee.com. Become a part of our family.
Pain is temporary, pride is forever. At Excel Therapy, we want to be your athlete's advocate for excellence. We offer treatment methods that focus on strengthening muscles and improving flexibility to improve your overall performance. And when injury sets in, Excel Therapy can aid in the recovery process. We know it's important to get back in the game, so trust the comeback experts, Excel Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. With 16 locations and no physician referral required, you can begin healing today. From setback to comeback, the name you can trust, Excel Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. Look for us online at exceltherapyok.com.
And welcome back to Runt's Barbecue, where it is always a great place to sit down and pick from the order, whether you go the burnt ends, whether you go the catfish, you pick the ribs, or even if you go the Mackinac Special, Coach, with that hammered down pork chop smothered and covered in gravy with his peppers and stuff.
You missed that.
No. I saw it on video, and the look on your face was like, oh, my gosh, what is this? Well, I've since found out it is one of the delicacies here that's available. You just tell the waitresses when you come in, you want to try the Mackinac Special.
I'd like to try a 4-pound butterflied pork chop with gravy on it, and you'd have the Mackinac Special.
And take a piece of pie home with you to boot for that. But speaking of to boot, Coach, Thursday night, not Friday night, a road trip, another conference game, and you knew you had some games that were preparing you for these next 3 weeks because it's this week Choctaw, next week Bixby, and the following week after that you got Booker T.
That's right. Well, you know, definitely we knew this was going to be back in the spring when we saw what we had when we drew up the teams. We knew this was going to be a tough 3-week stretch. Of course, it looked pretty sexy at the time, and that's why the next 3 weeks are on TV too in the Oklahoma City, Tulsa area. Everybody's saying, we got the number 3-4 team preseason going at it this week, and then Bixby and us next week, and then Booker T and us the third week, and so all three will be televised. And but at the time, that was just we knew this was going to be the rough stretch, and being fall break, always is on Thursdays anymore. We were prepared for that. As it turned out, luckily right now with the way we're beat up, I'm glad that we didn't have to end up going the Friday night, Monday night, at least, because really last night was supposed to play, Putnam City West, and then would have come back for a Thursday night game. So it's good the way it worked out. I still hope we get to have the Putnam City West game somewhere down, just due to the fact that it's a home game. We're missing out on some money and stuff, and the band's missing out on money with the concession and people that put all the stuff together for a home game. We hope that we get it, but Choctaw's an outstanding football team. They're the ones that put us out of the playoffs last year. They beat us 29-21 at home. They've got a great group of kids. They have a kid that's hurt right now. That's a TCU commitment as a wide receiver, and they got a OU DB. They've got a linebacker that's also committed to OU, and then their sophomore quarterback. People, they just don't brag enough on him. He's big, 6'3", 215-pound kid. They got a huge line, and there's a lot of move-ins happening over there at Choctaw. Choctaw's growing a little bit, and they're getting a bunch of move-ins because Choctaw used to be not very good for years and years and years. And to Coach Corbin's credit, he has got those guys going over there and playing extremely well. He's got a great staff of young and old guys that's experienced, but then had a lot of that pizzazz to them, and they're getting the kids fired up. And so they're going to be a handful over there Thursday night, and we're going to go over there and play to the best of our ability. But they've got a very good football team.
Speaking of a guy that's making his way and he's moved into a position and he's making himself a real important piece of the Ruffers' success this year. That's our guest that got here, and he's still waiting on his plate full of food. TK Thompson, tell me your thoughts about this young man and how he has progressed this season.
Well, we talked about him earlier in the first half, that how he was one of our best leaders, if not our best leader this summer, being out there for Summer Pride and then for the passing league and being able to, and it's carried over throughout the year. He's played some on offense for us, but it was mainly being, like I said, taking Ty's place. He leads the team in interceptions and has had a great season so far, but we just felt like we needed him more on offense right now, and he's been over there doing that. He's got a little bit of a hamstring injury right now. That's kind of been the flavor of the day, I guess, this year. I haven't had more hamstrings, and I don't know when, but anyway, we got a little hamstring injury right now, but he'll still be playing Thursday night. But TK is a great young man, got great grades, and he's done a great job for us this year.
TK is talking about you going both ways. I mean, you're having to go offense and make big plays like you had last week, and quite honestly, albeit for one big flag, you've got over 100 yards in receiving. I saw a different guy out there last Friday night in the ball game against Bartlesville. What was different in your mindset going into that contest on senior night?
See, my pawpaw, he was in the hospital. I was just like, I'm going to play this game for him. And I just came out feeling I was calm, I was ready. And as soon as I got a chance to show it, I did.
And Coach, he showed it, because on a couple of catches, I wasn't quite sure you were going to be able to get to the ball. But suddenly, I saw that burst of energy, and the big hands went up, and you snatched the ball out of the air.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy.
Now, Coach also says, though, you go over on the defensive side. How do you change your mindset from being the attacking wide receiver to being the attacking and protecting defensive back?
Well, either way I see it, I get a chance. I get to hit somebody either way it goes. So that's what I think about, and it gets easier. And I always stay on my reads, read my keys, and the ball just comes to me.
Comes to you one way or another. It's like a magnet. It just follows you everywhere you go. Now, everybody knows you as TK. Give us the true definition of the two letters TK Thompson.
Travion Kentrell. It's my first two initials.
Traeveonn, right? Or one N?
It's two N's.
Two N's. See, I got it right the first time.
You did.
But it's a senior year. What have you thought about? Forget the record. What's your favorite memory? What's going to be what you carry with you as a Muskogee Ruffer finishing up your high school football season?
if anything, I think my big thing would be just to get everyone to continue to fight. Once we all fight and want to play and want it, I feel like we'll turn the season around. That's what I'm just trying to push for that.
Coach, you can't ask for anything more than that. Never give up.
No, and that's the leadership he brings. Like I said, if we started off the senior season with 16 seniors, I think now that's actually even capable of playing, we've got about 5 or 6, and TK has been one of those from the start to the finish, and we've talked about Antonio. Those two have been with us from start to finish of being leaders and working hard for us. And like you said, you see those guys that give it every day, and that's the way it's supposed to be, and that's the way some of the younger, you just wish that everybody was able to do what they do and help them out to have a successful senior season.
TK, you did a good job last Friday night. Let's go do it again Thursday at Choctaw.
Sure will do.
TK Thompson, he'll be on the field for the Ruffers on Thursday night. It is Thursday night. It is at Choctaw. It's a 7 o'clock kickoff, Coach. But before we get out of here, fans can go to the game, but you're going to want to get your tickets in advance, and you have to do that online.
You have to do it online like we have most games this year. It's just the way it is everywhere, including our place. And so it's one of the COVID problems, but that's where you got to be.
It is, and that'll be Thursday night. We'll be on our Rupper TV broadcast from Choctaw, beginning with the pregame show at 6:30 on Rupper TV as well as on Okie Country 1017, and then the kickoff slated for 7 o'clock, Muskogee against the Yellow Jackets of Choctaw. For head coach Rafe Watkins, for the ever-talented artist John Williams, and for the defensive back, wide receiver standout TK Thompson. Bill Huddleston says so long. Don't forget, stop by Runts anytime you can because it'll be well worth your visit. So long, everybody. See you back here next week on Ruffer TV.
JTK Imaging Services of Muskogee brings mobile digital imaging to you anytime, anywhere. JTK Imaging Services offers parents-to-be excitement and comfort of 3D and 4D ultrasound with ultrasound as low as $100. Services at JTK Imaging Services also include mobile digital ultrasound and x-ray anytime you need them. Discover the difference online at jtkimagingservices.com. JTK Imaging Services of Muskogee at 1631 North Main.
Tradition. It's a word that means a lot. Just as the tradition of the Muskogee Ruffers requires commitment of great players and coaches, Lesher Millsap Funeral Home takes pride in providing great value and commitment every day with a tradition of service to the families of the Muskogee area. Just like in football, tradition must be earned on every play, every day, not just in the final score. And that's why you can trust Lesher Millsap Funeral Home to be there for you when it counts the most. Lesher Millsap Funeral Home, proud to be part of the Muskogee tradition of excellence.
I'm Gil McLaughlin.
I'm Brian Kirkhart.
Thanks, Muskogee. Your hometown mortgage team, Muskogee Mortgage, the McLaughlin team, is proud to be Muskogee's preferred mortgage company.
We are extremely honored to serve you. Just like the Ruffers have a game plan for victory, our daily game plan is to assist families to reach their financial goals.
Thanks, Muskogee, and good luck, Ruffers, on your drive to win in 2020.
Your new home isn't so far away with the help of Muskogee Mortgage, 3241 Chandler Road, Muskogee, and online at MuskogeeMortgage.com.
The Muskogee Athletic Department would like to recognize its proud Rupper Athletics sponsors: Armstrong Bank, Oklahoma Army National Guard, Arvest Bank, Chick-fil-A Muskogee, Neighbors Building Neighborhoods, St. Francis Muskogee, Tommy Nix Auto Group, Springs Skilled Nursing and Therapy. Go Ruffers!